Good morning, Eagle Nation. Today is the 16th day of the school year. It's Wednesday. It's the 24th of August. Wherever you may be, please stop. Please stand. Let us rise together for this morning's Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated, or you can join me for 10. I'm in a tight space today, so you have to trust me. I'm actually going to be doing push-ups down here. Here we go. We're doing 13. It's a good prime number. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep going. 9, 10, 11, 12. You got this. 13. Prime number because the only factors of 13 are 1 in itself. 13. The song dedication that you just heard this morning was a lovely dedication. It was a song dedication by Junior, Juan, and Cruz. That was Old Island's music from Roblox. And they want to dedicate this song to you, Miss Chase, and Miss Romero, and the entire Skyblocks community. It was a lovely way to bring in this Wednesday. Thank you. And this is a 1957 Chevy Corvette. For no other reason than it's kind of cool. At some point, Corvettes started to change the shape into the 60s, and they were still cool then. And then the 70s, they got less cool. And then the 80s and 90s and beyond, in this humble man's opinion, they stopped being cool. But in the 50s, check that out. Wouldn't you want to drive that? It's beautiful. Anyway, that's show and tell for the day. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for joining me for the morning announcements. It's a Wednesday, which means after school today at 2 o'clock. Most of our staff, you will be joining us in the Media Center for a review of what MTSS, Multi-Tiered Systems of Support. It's a mindset before it's a structure. We're going to be looking at that today, and what does it mean for us in Phoenix Elementary School District, and what does it mean for us at Emerson. And Ms. Hughes and Ms. Burris will be leading us through that process. We look forward to seeing you all then. Simultaneously, the entire autism team, including instructional assistants, and I will be trained in CPI, or Crisis Prevention Intervention. So we'll be doing that from 1 until 5 p.m. today, so that we have multiple members on our campus who are fully certified and trained to support when students are in crisis. And it does happen, so we want to be prepared. Absences for today. As far as I'm aware at present, everyone is here today with the exception of art position that we are still working on filling. I want to give you an update though. I did speak with our 2 candidates, and they will be joining us for a 3rd and final interview tomorrow with their performance task. I will give you an update tomorrow to let you know how that goes, or rather, they're doing it tomorrow. I'll give you the update on Friday to let you know how that goes and whether or not we're moving forward, and if not, what our plan will be. So stay tuned. Thank you again for just hanging on. Help is coming. One way or another, we're going to find a way to do this. All right, with that, let's get to some words of wisdom so you can get to the business of teaching and learning today. First of all, remember that the skill of the week is how to follow instructions. It's a 4-step process. Let's see if you know them. To follow instructions, first, what is it? If you said, look at the person, you would be correct. Look at the person, say, that's right, say okay, then do it right away, and then lastly, check back. Look at the person, say okay, do it right away, and check back. Look at the person, say okay, do it right away, and check back. Look at the person, lets you know you're communicating. Say okay, verbally acknowledges that you have something that you've been asked to do. Doing it right away is the way to align your actions with your words. And it helps you to move the lesson forward, or the moment forward, progress. And then 4th is the obligation of the teacher or staff member to give you feedback. Could be a thumbs up, could be a smile, could be a head nod, something that just lets you know, hey, I asked you to do something and you did it. Thank you. That's it. look at the person, say okay, do it right away, and check back. Now some words of wisdom so you can get to the business of teaching and learning. Check this out. The message is this: in times of change, build windmills. In times of change, build windmills. Here's a short vignette. Britain had not won the Tour de France in its 110-year history and only medaled once in the Olympic Games. That was 1908, and it was on their home turf. Almost 100 years later, they hired a new coach. His name was Dave Brailsford. The year was 2003. Most of you weren't even born yet. Most of you students, that is. And he started with a new process called the aggregation of marginal gains. In other words, times of change demanded to build windmills, do things differently. And so they started to do things differently. And they did little things differently. They started to pay attention to the air temperature, of the inner air temperature of their bicycles. They started to pay attention to the types of massage gels that allowed their athletes to recover faster after a long bicycle race. They paid attention to the slickest uniforms that cut down on wind resistance. And each of these little changes didn't make a big difference. But through the aggregation of marginal gains, all of these little differences added up to something much bigger. By 2008, same team, same coach, same country, the British team, went to the Olympics in Beijing, and they got 60% of the gold medals. In 2012 Olympics in London, back on their home turf, about 104 years later, they got 9 Olympic records and 7 world records. Same team, different coach, different way of thinking. In 2012, Bradley Wiggins won the Tour de France for the first time. Then in 2013, his teammate won the Tour de France. His name was Chris Froome. He won it in 2013, won it again in 2015, again in 2016, and again in 2017. So in 10 years, they won 178 world championships, 66 Olympic and Paralympic medals. That's significant. And it didn't begin because of some earth-shattering new insight or earth-shattering new practice that all happened in a single day, but rather it was small, incremental changes, little imperceptible changes that when you put them on top of each other, little by little by little, over the course of time, aggregated to produce a significant result and a significant difference. So today, I encourage all of you to think differently if what you've been doing has not been working, in whatever that may be. In times of change, don't put up walls, build windmills. With something to think about, this is Mr. Lodato. Mask up today, currently at our off-site studio in Little Coronado, but I'll be at school later today. Hats and hoods off indoors, stay in your zones at recess, put away your phones, and make it a great day, or not. The choice is yours.